Welcome, Guardians, to the 51st episode of the DTR podcast. I am your host, Jay, the content manager here at DTR, and joining me this week are my wonderful co-hosts. First up, we have Jay Rambo 9119. What's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
What's up? And then we have Plasmic Leaf. What's up, man?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Plasmic. I didn't even know you were in here.
Yeah.
Rathos and Dan sadly could not join us this week, but hopefully they will be back next week. Our guest this week is Mesa from Guardian Radio. What's up, man?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on. It's been a long time.
Welcome back, man. You haven't been on since March. This is your second time here. Welcome back.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. It's an honor to come back.
I know you were sick, so are you feeling good this week, man?
I'm always sleep deprived on a regular basis, but yeah, when Destiny 2 came out, bronchitis, ear infection from no sleep, was well for a couple weeks, and then it came back again like a week later. So my doctor's like, your prescription is sleep. Like, you need to put the game down. That's why, like, when people are complaining we're in a drought right now, you know what? I'm getting a little more sleep right now, so I'm kind of welcoming the drought right now.
Yeah. All right, guys, so we have a ton of things to talk about tonight. We're going to dive into the PC talk. We're going to talk about the latest news that came out the TWAB, and then speculate about some raid challenges, because raid challenges actually launches next week. But I do have a few announcements to make. So you guys can find us on iTunes, Podbean, and the Google Play Store at Destiny Tracker Podcast. We do record the show every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern live on twitch.tv/DestinyTrack. If you guys would like to support the show, please subscribe on iTunes and make sure to leave a review. And then you guys can follow us on Podbean. You guys can use our promo code DTR for 10% off your Gamer Subs GG order. All right, Sean, I'm going to throw it over to you, man. Do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
What do you do here in the community?
I'm a YouTuber first and foremost, and then I'm a co-host on Guardian Radio on Monday nights, and then I'm one of the only people that streams Destiny 2 on YouTube, not Twitch. So when I stream on YouTube, I'm one of the only ones. I have custom emojis. I know on Twitch they're called emotes, but I'm called a trusted tester, where I have custom emotes, which is cool because I can literally change them on the fly. So like when we're doing the raid, I upload a bunch of little raid icons. If I'm doing other activities, I'll can change them and stuff. And it's the same thing where you have a sponsor button, which is like a Twitch sub button, where it's $4.99 a month, and you get the emotes and some other type things. I think it might be ad free. I'm not 100% sure. And I think those are the main things. Yeah, YouTuber, stream on YouTube, Guardian Radio Monday nights, and I try to tweet a lot.
Sweet. So how did you get into YouTubing?
It was an accident. I got laid off from my job, and I was just kind of farting around, collecting my severance from my old company. And I started making Killzone Shadowfall videos. I was obsessed with that game. And then I tried the Destiny Alpha. And then as soon as I logged in, and because I'm a musician, and when I heard that music, it hooked me in right then and there. And then I just became a Destiny channel. But I do cover any game I love. Like Horizon Zero Dawn, I covered a bunch. I'm looking forward to the DLC coming up. Star Wars Battlefront, I loved the first one for about 6 months. I covered that. I get a lot of hate for this one, but I love The Division. And that's what actually got me through the summer waiting for Destiny 2, was just playing The Division nonstop every night. So I'll cover any game that I like. Like Call of Duty World War II is coming out. I'll try it if I like it. Maybe a few videos here, but for the most part, Destiny is my main game that I like to cover.
All right, sweet. And then how did you get into podcasting?
Podcasting? Let's see. Well, I was always listening to Guardian Radio, and then I became friends with My Name is Bife. And then just a few times they brought me on as a guest, and then just more and more there was just that chemistry that I had with Mark, K-Dub, Bife, and then they kept bringing me on as a guest with the intention of making me a co-host. I guess I didn't know at the time. And then finally, they're like, "Hey, man, do you want to become a permanent host? A permanent co-host?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, man." Because I've always been obsessed with podcasting. Well, not obsessed, but I listen to a zillion podcasts, and I've always been a huge talk radio person. From Howard Stern to Opie and Anthony, and just listening to a lot of comedians. I like a lot of comedian podcasts, that are really interesting. So, it kind of was just like a natural fit. I love it. It's fun.
Sweet. All right. J-Ram, you first up, man. Your questions for this week.
Yeah, it's a couple simple questions, Mesa. Nothing rough.
Sure, man.
what are the advantages of streaming on YouTube as opposed to Twitch?
Well, I mean, because I have a good base audience. I have like 167,000 subs. One is that there's no competition, because no one else streams on.
Are you sure you want to say that out loud?
Oh, I just did. But, like there's no real competition. I reckon what really kicked it off for me was when like Sparrow Racing launched in, was it 2015 or 16, I think? Rather than going when all the new content hit and like opening up exotic engrams to see the Mida multi-tool brought up and everything, looking at all the vendors, going through the quests, and trying, I was like, instead of rushing and competing with other YouTubers to make a video on this, a video on that, I said, fuck it. Can I curse on here?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, fuck it. I'll live stream it, and my chat will direct me. What do they want to see? Like, do you want me to do this quest? Do you want me to check out? Let's open up some engrams. Oh, we just got the Mida multi-tool now. That's like when they brought it back again. And it just seemed easier. So whenever there's new content or a live event, I'll just stream it first rather than trying to decide, all right, do I need to make a video on this? Do I need to make a video on that? Mm-hmm. And let the chat direct where I go. And then the chat also, I recognize a ton of them, because they're in my comment section all the time, and then they get notified. And then with the sponsor thing, that's, like very good for revenue because it's like a Twitch subscription where they pay $4.99 a month. They get custom emotes and a few other benefits, and then that thing will archive as a viewable video shortly after the stream, and then that people can watch over and over. Because a big thing with me is back when I would say I'm a recovering Call of Duty shithead because I was obsessed with Black Ops 2, and I used to always go back and watch past streams of two guys, Fisticuffs and Ozarek, and I'd go back and watch hours of their just playing Black Ops 2 over and over, and people seem to go back and watch the stream archives, especially when we were doing the raids and stuff. Whenever a new raid launches, stream it. We were doing a lot of, my friends and I were doing a lot of raid carries, or as some people call them, assists, but taking people through all the Age of Triumph raids that that have never been through. So that was a cool thing too, is I would just fire up the stream and we would just start taking people from chat. Like I would maybe ask a question or something and be like, okay, whoever answers it first, then we'll send them a chat invite, get them in. And so I think that's the reason why I do it.
All right, I got a follow-up question now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your favorite thing to do in D2, and what is your least favorite thing to do?
Favorite thing to do is I can patrol Nessus or the EDZ for hours and just have fun. I'm not chasing a cat. I feel less pressure that I'm not chasing a carrot while others always need a carrot, to chase. So patrolling around Nessus and just looking how beautiful it is and doing lost sectors and doing adventures and playing with guns I don't normally, or I wouldn't normally play with, because, like we all get into that crutch where we're always going to use the same Nameless Midnight, the Number, Ural's Gift and stuff, where there's some pretty cool sleeper weapons that people that I didn't like. There was a Suros pulse rifle that's got outlaw that reminds me of like a PDX 45 or 41 that I use. There's a few cool hand cannons too that are out there. So I'd say just patrolling. I love the strikes. The strikes are really fun, except for the one fallen one with the dude that disappears all the time.
Yeah,
that one's annoying.
That gets annoying.
But isn't that one a PlayStation exclusive?
No, the Taken one is.
No, that's
okay.
Yeah, the Taken one is. That's not a bad strike either, but strikes I like. It's not rewarding in terms of, are you getting strike-specific loot? You're just going to maybe get a chance at an engram, and you get all those tokens, and that's why with these, Bungie's known for doing economy changes. So I've got a zillion tokens for every destination. I've got a zillion Vanguard tokens. I got tons of Crucible tokens. Least favorite, and this one I'm probably going to get a lot of help for, is playing the game mode Clash in PvP. Clash for me, I know a lot of people like. I for some reason I like Supremacy and I like Control because I feel like it promotes movement. Whereas whenever I play Clash, it's 4 people holding hands with 4 other people holding hands, and that's one of the things. Like I love the gunplay in Destiny 2 for PvP more than Destiny 1, but I never get to experience it because it's always 2 people shooting at 2 people or 2 people shooting at 1. Whereas if we had Rumble, or if it was 6s, there'd be more of those one-on-one engagements, So I really don't know if there's a remedy or solution to that, because it seems like if they want to go the esports route down the road, 4s is pretty much the way it is. The maps are made for 4s. I miss with Destiny 2, I missed the chaos of 6s, but at the same time, towards the end of Destiny 2, I was playing skirmish every night, which I liked better than 4s because it was 3s and it seemed a little more tactical. Whereas with 4s and Clash, that's got to be for me the least fun thing. Like when that comes up, but Supremacy I like because it forces people to move. You got to get those crests. But Clash, I just don't get along with it. You know.
All right, last question.
Sure.
This one right off the cuff. You mentioned earlier that you like to listen to comedian podcasts. Who do you go to?
Who do I go to? I'd have to pull him up to actually take a look.
Here, I got one. I absolutely love Bill Burr. I think he is absolutely hilarious.
I like that whole group of like Billy Burr, Rich Voss. Let me pull him up here right now. Bob Kelly's another one. You know what, dude? You know him? Anthony Cumia. There's a new show with Artie Lang and Anthony Cumia called the Not the Ope. It's the Artie and Opie. The Anthony and Artie show or Artie and Anthony show. One of those. I love the Joe Rogan podcast. I never miss a Joe Rogan podcast. What else? Nick DiPaolo's another funny one. Yeah, so those are the main ones, that I listen to.
Okay.
All right.
That's it for me, man.
I do have one follow-up question. You said about your raid carries that you did during Age of Triumph. I believe I saw on Twitter that you did like 500 Crota carries one weekend, or you were planning to do.
Well, that was more my friend, my good friend Raider XOF. He's deployed right now. He's a Marine. I think he's on his 18th or 19th tour in Baghdad.
Wow.
And and we play with him all the time. He has his PS4 in Baghdad, and it's a cool thing for him because he's in a place that I couldn't even imagine being in right now with what's going on over there. But he gets to play Destiny, and and that's I can't speak for him, but I would think that's a nice, hopefully like a little bit of a release for him at night. But it was more him than anything that was doing more of the carries. He loves doing the carries. I was there for most of the Age of Triumph carries that we were doing, but I haven't done any carries with the Destiny 2 raid. He's been doing a lot of carries with some other folks like Vanilla Gorilla, Baffling Joker, Doc Cupcakes, Ninja Rockstar. I'm probably forgetting a few names here, but they've been doing carries. I have yet to do it yet just because I've just been so swamped with trying, with making content that when I do the raids, I don't want to stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow, actually, the Prestige raid. But when it comes to doing the raids and stuff, like I feel like Raider and those guys, they're better at teaching newer folks the mechanics of the raid than I certainly am. But I feel like I love the Leviathan raid. To me, it's one of my favorite raids. I like mechanics. I like weird things. It's like when you first go up there and you see the whole city and the whole royal just gold everywhere and the voice like, "You seem tense. Enjoy a bath." I love it. I absolutely love it. Not saying like you can't compare it to Vault of Glass because it's just they're different. The whole I remember the first time we discovered the underbelly and just spending hours going through finding all the chests and everything. It's a beautiful raid. It's not really rewarding in terms of what it's going to give. I still haven't gotten to Midnight Coup yet, but in terms of what you get out of it. So I haven't done any carries yet with the Leviathan raid. Just strictly just doing it with like some friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off of what you said about how each raid is completely different. That is one thing Bungie is unbelievable at doing, is capturing the theme of the race that you're fighting. Like if you think about Vault of Glass, it is very it's very cold, dark, almost surgical the way that you have to do the encounters. When I close my eyes and think of the Vex, that's what I think of. When I think of the Hive, I think aggressive, in your face, loud, chaotic. Just think of the Abyss. There it is. Siva, once again, mechanical. You're kind of torn. You don't know who's who and what's what. You get all that. It's still chaotic. Even the Taken. There's not a fully Taken raid.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you can get through the Taken King raid. What was that called again?
King's Fall.
You can get through that without ever seeing the Taken, right?
Yeah, for the most part, it's always Hive, and then once you get to a certain point, then the Taken come out to get annoying.
Yeah, the Taken will show up in each encounter, but like even in the very first room, it when you're running and grabbing the orbs to slam into the totems, right off the bat, when you're coming back, you're encountering taken phalanxes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that one, but still.
It's a split. I would say it's definitely more like 75 hive and 25 taken, but yeah.
But just to reiterate, they're amazing at capturing that theme.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is
sure,
dope. Man. That's awesome. I love that.
A quote that Luke Smith used to say a lot before Leviathan release was it feels like a place that you can feel is real, and I feel like that Leviathan actually feels real.
Yeah.
Do you guys get that feeling? Like it it could be real, because I like how there's like a golden palace on top, and then underneath it's a ship. It's a real ship. I just love it. Yeah.
And then you look at all the architecture, and if you just go looking around, all the symbols and everything. And I have the collector's edition. It comes with this beautiful little thing, and then a booklet that talks about all these characters that I thought were going to be in the raid as raid boss. That thing right there, yeah. It talks about the scientist, the confidant, the general. And I thought they were all going to be either in the story or the raid itself. So I didn't think of it.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But then when you read the book, they betrayed him.
Yeah, and then the book is telling you he wants them dead, and then I reached out to Mylan Games, and he was like, "No, he's like, we haven't seen any of it, but Emperor Callus had them all killed already," which I think was a buzzkill because like one of them was a huge was a huge scion, and like they even had some in that booklet, like they had some things related to how you might kill them. It said something like this one likes to listen to music or something, or needs to be sung a song or something. I was like, oh, that's totally a raid mechanic right there. Or one of them, you have to approach as a friend or something like that. I was like, oh, these are going to be raid mechanics. And then the game comes out and they're not in the game at all,
Yeah.
So. Well, that completely crushes my theory then on what everything was.
Yeah.
Well, just from what you were saying right there, and I didn't get the collector's edition, but you were saying like you have to approach one as a friend. I mean, hey, welcome to the baths. Take a seat.
Yeah,
have a spot.
I know. Right?
Music. Hey, the dogs are howling. That could be some sort of reference there. I mean, I don't know the book. I don't know exactly what it says, but just from those two that you mentioned, I'm like correlation right here.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Rathos, I do want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Your questions, man.
I want to know first and foremost, what is one thing in PvE and PvP separately that you would change, and why?
That I would change. Okay.
Either add, subtract, change in like maybe more locations that you can fast travel to, maybe something else. What would you change PvE or PvP wise? And each one separate answer.
All right, separate answer. It's kind of hard because I want to lump them into both because it's the modifications, because I thought with fixed roles that the loot table would be just enormous and we'd have a gazillion guns to go through. I would change the mod system. I would change it so that if you get a gun that you like, you could somehow craft or do a quest or do some sort of activities to then make that gun better, whether you wanted to put Outlaw on a pulse rifle or take a favorite perk like Rampage is another one I love, put it on a scout rifle, because right now it's kind of like I'm already stuck in the same 10 weapons that I like to use all the time. I don't think there's enough weapons in the loot pool to worth grinding for. I mean, to worth grind for. To grind for. And as for PvP, I would say the same thing, but for PvP, it's the team shooting, but there's no real way to change that, Yeah. It's the way the game's meant to be played, or the maps are kind of indicative of that. I do like the fact that the games are shorter, so for Iron Banner, I had to suffer less, not for the full 15, 20 minutes of a game.
Right.
In PvP, I don't know. What I would
maybe change like the firing size, the size of the fire teams.
Well,
maybe add like a doubles or just a 3v3.
I would love to have Rumble. Would love to have Rumble because I love the gunfights in Destiny 2 better than Destiny 1, but I'm never engaging them because it's always me versus two or me and someone else, and I'm always getting like I keep thinking I'm getting this beast game, and I look back and I look at Destiny Tracker, which tells me how many actual kills I got, not my KAD. And I'm like, I only got 10 kills that game. Where my efficiency, I was like 17. Whoa! And then I go back and look at Destiny Tracker. No, you got 10 kills and you assisted. You know.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Rumble come back. I miss Rift. I mean, Rift was one of my favorite games, and probably one of my favorite Iron Banners, much to people's chagrin. But that was only because I made sure I was rolling stack the whole time with friends. And Rift is a fun game. Rumble, I would love to have Rumble come back. Skirmish, I loved because I feel like Skirmish is more strategic because it's threes. I feel like, you know, whereas fours, I don't know. I feel like Trials for me is not really entertaining to watch anymore. When it was threes, I felt like there was more ride. I don't know what it was. I just feel like there was more riding on it when it was threes. It was. I mean, you know, when you think about 3 versus 3, yeah, there was some team shooting, but not nearly as much. You know, there was a lot more sniping. There was a lot more tactical. All right, you know what? 2 is coming this way. 1's trying to flank behind us, and it's going to take one of us out. Whereas 4 is it's always either all 4 are holding hands, or there's 2 here and there's 2 here. And if you dare venture off by yourself, you're going to get wasted.
You're screwed. Right.
Yeah, something like that.
I hear you there. What is an exotic that you wish that did come from D1 into D2 that hasn't?
That's a, let's see. Come back. Okay.
Gun or armor does not matter.
Oh, geez Louise. Well,
come on. You know you want to say it. You know you want to say it. Starts with letter G.
Oh, no, you know what? I got sins to the past.
Garden tools?
No, it would be a better a Destiny 2 version of Red Death or Hawk Moon.
Ooh,
it's one of those. To me,
choice.
I got a 3D replica of Hawk Moon. Actually, Last Word's another one too. But Hawk Moon was the best looking gun, best sounding gun. It was really good for a long period of time, and then it got nerfed into the ground. So I would like to see Hawk Moon come back or Red Death, because I feel like Red Death sounds cool, looks cool. The ornaments made it look great. It had amazing perks on it in terms of health regeneration, high caliber rounds. But then once
Outlaw,
they shifted the meta, and then Norman's Mercy, Red Death, and that archetype were kind of not very effective, and it went to the Clever Dragons, and then the Clever Dragons got nerfed. But that Iron Banner pulse, the Time-Worn Spire, that's like the Clever Dragon for Destiny 2. That thing is really, really good. It's an awesome pulse rifle. But I'd say Hawk Moon and Red Death probably.
Red Death was definitely one of my favorites from D1. So I could agree with you on that.
It just looks so amazing, sounds amazing. It's got some awesome perks.
Yeah. Plasmic, let's actually all answer that question. Plasmic, which exotic would you like to see return from Destiny 1?
I've got more than 2. So first and foremost, I want Bad Juju back. I missed that gun. It was such a nice gun. You know, you get kills, and then it does bonus damage, and then it gives you super, and then it automatically reloads. It was such a nice gun. I definitely miss it. And then Last Word. I don't know how well it would do in Destiny 2, considering the fact that hand cannons don't 3-tap anymore, unless you're the Sturm. So I'm not sure how well it would fare in that regard. Especially since on console, distance for hand cannons, they just kind of get outplayed by scout rifles and auto rifles and SMGs, so it's kind of hard to use a hand cannon in the current meta that we have right now. For exotics, I would say I would like to see Bones of AO come back, but we don't have better control anymore. I don't think for hunters. I don't think we have better control anymore, so it would be like, well, what's the point of having that anymore?
That extra jump, though.
Bones
True,
of AO,
but
I missed that.
If Bones came back, though, I would never take them off.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Destiny 1, I never took them off. Whereas now, at least, I love rocking Orpheus rig for Night Stalker. I mess obviously Raiden Flux for Arc Strider. Foe Trace is another really good one for PvP. Track some stuff, but if I had Bones, I'd never take them off like Destiny 1. I think. Yeah.
One exotic that I truly do miss, and this is just it was for the Warlocks because I thought it was a great exotic, is the what are they called? You said Orpheus ring, and now it just took the name of the exotic out of my head.
Aspect.
The Ophidian aspects, yes, the Ophidian aspects. I miss those bad boys so much. Those are my exotics that I would
extra. What was it?
It was quick reload, better improved lifesteal.
Draw.
So it would happen like immediately and quick draw. It was
Extended
great.
lifesteal, yeah, as well.
It was great. I miss those.
Yeah. For me, I have to say the Icebreaker. Honestly,
Oh,
I
yeah.
really
That
miss
was a fun
Icebreaker.
Good old Icebreaker.
I don't think that should have come into D2, especially with how snipers are power weapons now.
Yep.
I mean,
That's true.
it would be the only one that everyone would use.
Yeah.
Only one.
Well, I mean, like, not a lot of people use snipers now, right?
But if you had one that regenerates ammo as soon as you have in.
Power ammo barely drops now anyway, so
Yeah.
even
power ammo drops all the time. Regular ammo doesn't drop.
Right.
That's true. It's like sometimes when I kill a yellow health enemy, power ammo just does not drop. I don't know why. Maybe it's just
Then
me.
you're not getting the final kill.
So you have to get the final kill in order.
Yeah. If you get the final kill, it's 100% drop.
All right, that just changed my whole mood.
Looks like you had to fix those scopes.
J-Ram, which exotics would you like to see?
All right, I'll say it. Gallahorn. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Even it was the reason why Gallahorn got a bad rap is not because of the game. It was because of what happened with the LFG sites and how the raids were I want to say organized based off of what the teams would do. There, I mean, you could, for example, Crota, prime example. Everybody used to just stand on that little ledge.
Yep.
Yeah.
The sword runner goes down, gets a sword. 3, 2, 1, shoot. Everybody shoots their Gallahorn, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Age of Triumph came out, Bungie fixed that by kind of putting in an invisible wall.
Mm-hmm.
But all you had to do was just stand to the left or right of that.
Yeah.
You know, so the Gallahorn, yes, it made that raid a little bit easier as far as what you had to do. But what really made that raid easy is the fact that that end part wasn't designed that well.
Yeah.
You know, if they would have gotten rid of that entire like just top piece where you had to go down and fight all the thrall, or somebody had to worry about the knights and everything up top, completely different story. But when they brought back the Gallahorn, I mean, they nerfed it a little bit, but the way they designed the encounters it didn't force you to use other things, but it made you think, you know what, Gallahorn's great, but this gun or this setup, if I use it in this part of the raid, is better than having that Gallahorn.
Oh yeah. Like Wrath of the Machine, it was all about the dank drinker for when you're doing DPS on Axis, right?
Yeah.
Then there was I used to use Sound and Fury when doing Vosik just because I wanted 5 rockets to shoot at him.
Right.
Didn't need tracking. Or Sleeper Simulant was amazing for Templar. I mean, that was our Templar.
My God, yeah.
Huge impact DPS, yeah.
That was our strat for Templar. We'd waste him in 40 seconds where everyone's got Sleeper, put a Weapons of Light down, and just waste him, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes the gun will dictate the encounter, but the way that it should be is the encounter should dictate the way you set yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, and that just comes from just Bungie, you know, play testing different things and different designs and seeing what works. Hell, they might have just like a big whiteboard with all these ideas, and they just throw a spitball at the wall and say, okay, that's the one we're going to go with because there's so many here, and let's just see what happens. I mean, guys, that's how science is done sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, there's
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Question for you though, J-Ram. What do you like about the Gallahorn more than you like about the Wardcliff coil?
The Wolfpack rounds.
Yeah.
Because
Tracking,
they
too.
seek on it itself.
Yeah. The Wardcliff is that's an interesting beast in and of itself. You know, and I have some ideas about that gun too, and about the prestige or about the raid and everything, because even though Clan Redeemed did what they did, it's weird. I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's an exploit, and being able to define those two words, and are they one and of themselves the same word, or are they really different words? I think is the better argument to have. But if you want to talk about that, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I just like massive destruction, and that Gallahorn does it. It was awesome, especially oh my god, especially when somebody threw down a tether and it tethered like 15 enemies, and then you shot the Gallahorn and you saw. I don't know about you guys. Oops, sorry, that was my controller. I don't know about you guys, but seeing white numbers appear is good. Seeing yellow numbers is better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you saw a bunch of them.
Do you like Sins of the Past and the Curtain Call?
Yes. The Curtain Call, I think, is excellent at clearing out enemies. I think Sins of the Past is really good on Callus.
Yeah.
Because I have zero proof to show this, but I think the cluster bombs are tighter on the Sins of the Past as opposed to Curtain Call. That's it.
I use Sins of the Past when we're doing Callus.
Oh, it's so pretty.
I unfortunately don't have either one, so I'm stuck with the blue cup bearer, which pretty much does the same. But
I actually got both of them today, surprisingly.
Nice.
One from the Raid engram and from the Nightfall engram. So I was like, wow, it's my lucky day. All right, guys. So, great questions, but let's dive into the PC version of D2. It did release today. I said today. I meant to say it did release
Tuesday.
Earlier this week on Tuesday. And man, I did have some computer issues at first, but once I resolved all of that, man, is it fun. It's nice. It's really, really nice, guys. So
it is definitely smooth. I was watching, who was it? It was Dr. Lupo was doing it on PC, and I'm like, as soon as it popped up the stream, I'm like, he's on PC. I could just see it instantly. I'm like, that's PC.
It is
just within a
definitely
second. I just
a game
knew.
changer,
And I'm like,
that.
It's gorgeous. It really is.
Oh yeah. So J-Ram, I'm just gonna throw it over to you, man, because you're all about the PC version.
I made a promise to my PS4 friends that I won't leave them. Oh, it's gonna be hard to keep that promise. When I played the beta, I had 16 gig RAM computer with an i7 4790K processor and a GTX 950 $100 Best Buy 2 gigabyte card, video card. And I was running it on low settings, and I was getting locked 60 frames per second. Wow. I fell in love. So I talked to the wife, and being the most amazing woman she is, she said, yes, John, you can go ahead and invest in a video card. So I went out and got a GTX 1070.
Wow.
And it's unbelievable. I mean, and I can't say, where do I begin? Okay, ready? Guns. Guns look completely different. All right? Yeah. Even though it's the same merciless gun that you would have bought from Xur a couple weeks ago, that's that, shitty blue color on PC, it's more angular. It's the colors themselves are just prettier. The flames coming out the front.
Deeper hue.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. That being said, the guns are different. Then you go and you shoot the guns. It's an entirely different feeling. The recoil patterns are much tighter. If you aim and you pull the trigger, that's exactly where your bullet goes. There is no like bloom or anything like that. I mean, it's just you aim, you shoot. One gun in particular that I literally, I was like, I had to tell my wife how amazing this gun is, and she can give a shit less. It's the Sunshot. The Sunshot on PC is bad.
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then when you shoot somebody with the Sunshot and you see their bodies glow red and then they explode, watching that happen in 60 frames per second is just crazy. It's just gorgeous. And then you multiply that by like 3 or 4 because when they explode, you explode the other enemies around them. Yeah, it's like this massive explosion. And
supernovas going off everywhere.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. And then you're doing all this in a world that Bungie built. And because you're on PC, everything loads faster.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not kidding. I will hit, let's say I'm in a tower. I go to orbit. It takes me 3, maybe 4 seconds to get to orbit. That's just the orbit. If I go from if I go from the tower, select, let's say, the Trossland on, in the EDZ, and then hit go, I go from the tower to orbit down to EDZ, probably 6 seconds.
Wow.
It's crazy. Wow. And it's not like, hey,
he's not exaggerating. Yeah.
Oh, no. There are people out there with better rigs than I have, better machines than I have. I just got a solid state drive. That was one of the things when I said I'm going to build my computer, which I did, about a year ago. I wanted it to boot up very quickly. I think that helps out a lot with the loading times. Enemies spawn faster. enemies, there's more of them that spawn. If you're collecting like those data lattice things on Nessus, they spawn
everywhere.
faster. You can see them. And then, oh my god, let's say you get a sniper rifle and you zoom in, holy shit.
You see the nose hairs?
Nose hairs. You can see the shit in the Dreg's teeth. Okay, it is that, and I'm only 1080p. I'm not 4K. My monitor, I have an Asus monitor and it's 1080p 60 hertz. I bought it because that's what the PlayStation outputs is 1080p 60 hertz. So that's why I bought it. I couldn't imagine how nice this looks in 4K with people playing it on PC. Haven't been able to experience the raid, obviously. Strikes are gorgeous. And then, as if it doesn't get any better, it does. Because now you can change your field of view. So if you guys want to look at my screen real fast, I could do a little demonstration, okay? This shitty mouse pad represents what you can see in D1. Or I'm sorry, in D2 on console. Now, when you go to D2 and you change the FOV, your screen goes from what you can see here to this.
Yeah.
So you get to see all this extra stuff on the sides. And that in and of itself makes you feel like you're moving faster. You can see much more. And then when you move into third-person mode, whether you're using the sword or you're using your super, it is butter smooth. And you can, because you can see so much more and you can turn, it looks like you're turning faster and everything, you're just much more devastating. You're badass again. Like, I hate to say this because I made this argument before the PC launched. You don't feel powerful in the game anymore. Why have a power level?
Right.
I'm going to say the same exact statement. I don't understand why we still have this power level. However, in PC, I feel more powerful. Although that number I still know means nothing. It's that number to me is like a ticket to get into an exclusive restaurant. Do you got the ticket? Yeah. Is it 265? Yep. Okay, you could do the nightfall. Thank you.
Right.
That's what that number to me means right now. However, you just feel better. I will say this. I will argue with anybody. The premier gaming experience for this game is on PC. That being said, playing on console, it's not like it's the shitty experience that you can go home and feel bad about. That is not what I'm saying. Because on console, it's still an excellent game. It's the same game on PC. It's just a more immersive experience. I mean, you feel like you're in the world more.
They built the PC version from the ground up. I think in the VidDoc, they said that they ripped apart the console version and literally rebuilt the whole game from the ground up. And
from scratch.
They worked really, really hard on the PC version. So it's not easy to make a game like D2 on PC. It's great.
It definitely shows that they put time and effort into this. Not saying they didn't do that for the console version. So,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying...
let's not throw salt at me, because if you do, then you can just kiss my white ass. Case in point.
Yeah, it's great. I'm actually happy that they took the time to, yes, I know that they didn't release the game at launch at the same time as console, and of course we know why, but I feel like that extra time they were able to do a lot more. And of course we know that they had to do a lot more security reasons for things like that, even though some things were already data mined. Day one. Yeah,
but you know what, they were data mining in D1, so I'm not sweating that at all.
That's true. Yeah,
that's always, dude, it's always going to happen.
Yeah.
Just when you think you're the smartest person in the room, there's somebody else that will figure this shit out. Let them do it.
One thing I am happy to see is that they are swinging the ban hammer. Like, if you cheat, some people, I will say it is a bit controversial right now. Some people were banned for whatever reason, but some of those players that were complaining about them being banned, they were cheating. I don't know your stance on it, but I do know that it is a manual ban. So if you guys want to talk about that.
Right.
Sean, I'm just going to throw it to you. What is your point of view on that?
Well, since I'm not playing on PC, and I actually was going to ask you guys, can you buy a PC that can run the game beautifully and record and stream it at the same time? Or do you have to go dual PCs to do that?
I use the GeForce, that Shadowplay thing, and I can record and play at the same exact time. In fact, I'm doing the Skype call, and I'm playing D2 on PC right now, and according to my percentage load on my CPU, it's only at 35%.
Oh wow.
My core temperatures for my processors do not go over 40 degrees Celsius. I do have a water cooler though.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I do have a water cooler. After the show, if you want to hang around for 5 minutes, I will do all three of those things, and I will let you know, is it getting jittery and does it suck or not.
Oh wow.
But I don't know. I know the one thing that they were trying to prevent as far as the cheating are programs that inject code into the game, so you can have those special things happening within the game,
like aimbot, right?
Like stuff like that. I mean, let's really think about this here. 400 people were banned, correct?
About 400, yes. Yeah.
Okay, four of them were overturned. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 1 out of 100. All right, that got overturned. All right, it's 0.01. And when you really think about that, that is such a small amount compared to how many people were actually playing the game. It just sucks that you have Twitter and you have Reddit, and things are easily shared in our society today. Technology makes everything move faster, and it just sucks ass that such a small amount of apples ruined the pie for everybody else, or at least it seems like that. Because that's what I first day when PC came out and those people got banned, and you saw Reddit. Oh, here we go, blah blah. But Bungie can't handle, the PC shit. It's wrecked. It's ruined.
Yeah.
That is not. That's such a fictitious argument.
So what were they banned for? Because to be frank, I really have not been paying attention.
I have no idea.
Because wasn't it like bans were happening if they ran a certain application like Discord or an overlay, it would trigger something to Battle.net that would say.
But when you read what you can do, it clearly says you can use Discord overlays. So my thing is, maybe they had a separate program that was either what you said, Mesa, an aimbot that Bungie recognized or Blizzard recognized, and that's why they got banned. Or maybe it was a different type of program altogether that looks like one of those programs, but is really not.
Right. Yeah.
And that is why Bungie says we do not automatically ban people. We manually ban, but we have to look at what the data tells us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So give them time, to actually make these decisions. That being said, the easy way to not get banned is to not have that shit on your computer.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole. Is that hard to do?
Be safe.
Yeah. It's harder to be an asshole than it is to be just a legit nice person.
Yeah. I am happy to see that they are swinging the ban hammer. I hope to see people who actually cheat are punished for it. So that's my stance on it. Yeah. If you are banned by accident, you didn't cheat, yeah, I do feel bad. But again, they're just taking precaution always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's such an infinitesimal amount of people that, just get over it. It really is a small amount of people compared to how many that are playing.
Right.
Yeah. I do believe all the DLCs will be released at the same time, right? As console and PC, everything.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. The raid launches next week I had the launch calendar up, right? On PC.
Yeah, on PC next week.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what the Leviathan raid looks like.
Oh, I can't wait to see naked bathers in 60 frames per second.
Oh
that's going to look amazing. That's going to look amazing.
It's going to look. I'm curious to see Trials of the Nine on PC, seeing how the competitive scene is going to look on PC.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. J-Rim, you use controller, right? On PC?
Absolutely.
Yeah, same. I do use controller. I haven't really touched mouse and keyboard just yet because I have a standard Dell keyboard and a Dell mouse. So yeah. That's another amazing thing about this game. You can take your controller, play it, put it down, put your hands on the mouse and keyboard, and you do not lose a beat. You do not lose a second. It instantly it just changes. Yeah. When I'm in my inventory screen or in orbit, I use my mouse instead of my analog because the mouse is so much faster to switch gear around or something like that.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's crazy good. Crazy good.
Yeah. Man, I just love this game on PC. Yeah. All right.
Now, do you think a lot of people who are on console, they switch to PC? Do you think they're going to come back to console, or are they just staying on PC for the rest of Destiny 2, you think?
You know, I can't speak obviously on everyone's behalf, but I can give you a specific example of a friend I have. He traded in both his Xbox and PlayStation 1 PlayStation 4 copies of Destiny. Went out and bought a computer yesterday. I got to help him build it over FaceTime in a week so he can play Destiny 2 on PC.
Yeah.
But that is one case.
Yeah.
That is just one case. Then another guy in my clan, he has a PC, and then he went out and got Destiny 2 on PC also after hearing us.
Yeah. You know what? I would do it. I contemplated doing it. It's just a number of things where I was so drained from the launch, and I'm just waiting for new content. And, you know, to be honest, I saw a lot of backlash in my comment section, not liking that their favorite content creators switched over from console to PC, you know?
Yeah, but you go ahead.
Either it's an elitism, or it's a it's that then they can't play with those people or something like that. Because sometimes a lot of content creators they might, you know, like Blessy is another, you know, like a friend of mine who I believe he plays with some of his, you know, like subscribers and stuff. And if I get to that point where, you know, if a new raid or a horde mode or something, you know, something comes to Destiny 2 that's easier for me to play with subscribers, you know, I'm gonna stay on PS4 for sure. You know, just, you know, because it makes it easier. But you know, because I have all these Scuf, you come sponsored by Scuf, so I have a zillion of these Scuf controllers here, which they tout you could just plug this right into a PC and then you can map everything to it.
Oh, absolutely. You just plug it right in.
But just the thought of, you know, going and dropping the cabbage to get a whole new rig, and then I live in a tiny apartment here, and then to have to hook, I don't know. Part of me regrets not doing it, but then part of me is like, you know what, it's less stress. I need more time to relax right now while we're having a little drought of new stuff, you know.
I feel that if it went the route that, or if I went the route, I would probably stick to console personally. But then I would maybe use PC just for creating additional content. Like for uploading a video onto my YouTube or something like that, I would use the PC, because obviously, like JRM's been going on about the graphics. Use that better graphics for content, so for your art. But I would probably still stream and play mainly on my PS4, because that's
Yeah.
One thing I always tell content creators, some people may disagree with me, is play whatever platform that makes you happy. That's what I always say. Like, play wherever you feel happy. If you feel happy on console, then go play console. If you feel happy on PC, then just go play PC.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
I use that with the Xbox PS4 argument, like all the time. I say, listen, go where your friends are. Just play with, play with your friends.
And honestly, it's the same argument here. Go where your friends are. It's still it's not like Destiny 2 on PC has extra, you know, missions or anything like that. It is literally the same exact game. There's nothing different.
Yeah. A strike, a map, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah. Oh, on PS4, right, Sean? I think it's a strike, a map, and a sniper.
Take a strike. There's I think a crucible map.
It's a crucible. Is it?
It's a strike, a map, and a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which gun is it? The Darcy? No.
No, it's the
Borealis.
Oh, the Borealis, which I personally think sucks, because every time you need to switch an element, it does the reload animation. If it would have been like, press the reload button and it automatically, you see it light up from solar to arc, that's viable, I think. But for me to actually have to switch like watch the reload I never use the thing, you know.
And the other thing about the Borealis, even though it has the great ability of being able to switch around, so does Hardlight. But Hardlight isn't as it's not instantaneous. You got to go in, check it, and then flip it over. But even then, when you are running those strikes, those nightfalls, you know, with Prism, it's an opposite rotation. So with Borealis, you'll go solar, void, arc, and back to solar. That Prism's going to be solar, arc, void, solar. So it goes the opposite direction. So you have to switch it out twice if you're using the Borealis during that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, let's move into the TWAB now. Some really great news in the TWAB this week.
Dude, so much good stuff.
First, though, I just want to say that, man, Bungie is listening to us. They are working on stuff. Christopher Barrett, he is now in charge of the live. Well, he's always been in charge of the live team, but he's working on D2 now. He created the House of Wolves expansion and Rise of Iron, and now the torch has been passed to him on D2, and the dev team is working on future content. But yeah, so here are some changes that they are working on. The first thing I can say that we are proud of here at Destiny Tracker is that they are working on private matches, which they are targeting for early 2018. That's super exciting for us. So we can make more tournaments for you guys, and just the Guardian Con tournament. I'm excited to see that again coming. And also they're working on Crucible tuning. They are going to adjust supremacy scoring and spawning rules. They're improving the exotics and including adjustments to reduce instances of duplication. I will admit, I thought they had a smart loot system in this game, because this is just me.
It's quite dumb.
Yeah. Like,
this is smart. It's the smartest kid in the dumbest row.
Yeah.
I love your analogies. Yeah, and they're also working on an emote wheel. An emote interface.
Did they say emote wheel?
They're saying emote interface, which, come on, that has to be a wheel, right? Like, what?
Yeah, because it says you can equip salty, spicy ramen, 6-shooter, flip out, all at the same time. So for the D-pad, it has to be 1, 2, up, down, left, right.
Yeah. I mean, what else are they
instead
gonna
of sit, wave, regular dance, and your special.
An emote square? Like, it has to be an emote wheel, right?
Yeah, but when I think of wheel, I think of something that's circular.
Yeah, it says interface, so I'm thinking it has to be a wheel.
Okay.
I'm
all about that.
I could be wrong. They could create something brand new that we've never seen before in any game, but gosh, I hope it's a wheel.
Well, at that point, I mean, if you're going to be thinking about it, I mean, if you look at Overwatch, Warframe, they have an emote wheel as well, where you have like the 8 points, and then you can just pick whatever one, and some of them have even a subcategory that you could do a secondary on. Yeah. If you're going to go that route, it's going to be interesting how they're going to implement that for a controller, especially for the console players. Whereas if it's going to be, they might have an additional button where it'll pull it up and then you just select which one and then there you go. Yeah. But I have a feeling it might be more along the lines of what we were saying. You know, you have your 4 arrows, have them all be interchangeable instead of your standard dance, your high and your special dance, and then your meditation.
Yeah.
One question I do have, but all the emotes that they listed, the salty, spicy ramen, 6-shooter, flip out, those are all exotic. So will it only be for exotic emotes?
It sounds like it's probably going to be just the exotics. I think they would look. Bungie takes baby steps. So I get a feeling this will be the first. You got to think it from a business perspective too. They want us to, with the seasons, they want us grinding bright engrams or spending money on silver to buy bright engrams to get, because remember, all those seasons, the Eververse stock is all going to change, new exotic emotes, new ships and stuff. So I can imagine them being a little, backsided here, saying, okay, you know what, it's just for exotic engrams. So if you got 3 exotic engrams, you can put 1, press up, it'll do that, press left on the D-pad, or or press down. With this week at Bungie, the 3 bullet points I think are the most important words I've ever seen since Destiny 2, because those 3 bullet points completely addresses the end game content and the hardcores, I think. Because if we read about it, all right, new systems and rewards to give our most engaged players additional optional pursuits. Straight up, end game, hardcores, that's looking at us. They want to stop us complaining, give us something to do. Better incentives for players who complete challenges on prestige activities. What are we complaining about? We don't get anything from doing the prestige stuff because the armor's the same but looks cool, doesn't have any specific benefits to us. But then better rewards and replay value for strikes, adventures, and lost sectors. That goes back to my theory of like, man, there's so much good stuff in the base game that they can build off of, you know, make them worthwhile, add some rewards to it, add some loot things, you know. They said they're going to be making changes to the economy, to all the consumables, and I've been hoarding all my tokens and everything because they have a history of that. Like, do you guys remember the commendations from Destiny 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
We had nothing to do with them, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, cash them in for rep. You know what I mean? I had like 50 of them or something like that. So, you know, things are going to roll out over time, but those first few bullet points, I think, for me, are the most important because that's addressing the people who I think are the loudest right now with complaining, which is the hardcores and the end game. You know, people who want more to do, hit, you know, like 3 or 5, and just, you know, like they're bored.
Right.
They also mentioned about changes to the mod economy, more interesting and impactful, which I think is huge because Luke Smith did say in a recent interview that static roles are staying. So I'm excited to see what are they going to do, you know, to really make us customize our characters for gameplay. We could customize how we look. We have a gazillion shaders, which I have to start storing in the vault now because they're taking up space. But how can we make that set of boots more worthwhile for XYZ activity? You know, how can I make this particular weapon more interesting than the 2 other duplicates, you know, like that I have of it and stuff, besides throwing a shader on it, you know? So, and it was funny because Christopher Barrett, he's in my clan. He tweeted out about a month ago, what would you like to see from our next expansion? Now, I'm going to predict that these changes are probably going to come with the first expansion because if we think about it, Christopher Barrett was in charge of House of Wolves. Do you guys remember when they were pitching House of Wolves? The House of Wolves, remember it showed your Fatebringer, boom, and it went to 365 attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get a strange feeling all of these changes will come with this first DLC. You know, because we were debating it. Me, K-Dub, and Mark on Guardian Radio were debating it back and forth. I think it was me. It might have been me and K-Dub were saying these have to come before the DLC because otherwise everyone's going to leave. But then Mark was like, I think it was Mark that was saying, no, these will come with the DLC. But the more I'm thinking about it, Christopher Barrett made House of Wolves. He tweeted out a while ago, what do you want to see from a next expansion? And then we get a laundry list of changes from him. I got a feeling this next expansion, which hopefully will be December, we'll have all these things. Because one, that'll renew a lot of excitement in a lot of people because it'll be new content. And then you tack on new content with changes that everyone's been begging for. I think we're in for a good December, hopefully, if it is December. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I see it being December because they have the 3 streams in November. That takes us to about Thanksgiving, a week before launch, about early December. I actually tweeted out something today. On October 29th in 2014, they actually revealed the Dark Below expansion. So hopefully we can see a reveal next week. Yeah. Oh no, first. Never mind. It will be during the first stream, most likely.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're infamous for streaming stuff, and the fact that they have 3 live streams set up, they're getting really for something big to drop. I think. And I think it's all going to be, because now it even makes more sense. You know what? They're not going to roll out any changes in next month in November because we're already October 27th. They're going to stream and build the hype for anyone who hasn't bought the season pass or that first DLC, and then sell the new content along with, hey, here's all the new changes. Hardcore, endgame people, here's the changes to Lost Sectors. Here's reasons to go do adventures and Lost Sectors. I mean, adventures are fun, but there's no real rewards for them right now, you know?
One thing for adventures, I would like to see them really be a part of the story. I say that because dang it, there's one on Mesa that talks about the raid, and I feel like in order to unlock the raid, you have to do that adventure because it's a great segue into it. I love that. And then there's one on IO where it's the creepy music. I don't know if you guys completed that one. That one was great. It creeped me out a lot, actually.
It was fun though.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like, imagine they tie in adventures like to unlock endgame content in the endgame activity, whatever. I think we're not getting a raid because when Xbox leaked out the laundry list of Curse of Osiris, it didn't say raid. And if it had a raid in it, that'd be a big selling factor. So we know it's not going to be Prison of Elders because Cosmo did confirm no Prison of Elders. So who knows what the endgame activity is going to be. But how cool would it be if you have to do adventures to get things to get you to do that endgame thing? What if the adventures are part of how you get endgame rewards? What if the adventures are part of getting materials to go mod things or something, or creating modifications? Replay the adventure, because another key word was replayability. I like that word. You know what I mean? The definition of insanity and Destiny is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. In Destiny 1, those different results were a different role. God roll, Ias Luna. God roll, I'll never forget I talked about it way too much. My Wounded from Future War Cult. Scout rifle, full auto, outlaw with Firefly. I never took that thing off for the last 6-7 months of Destiny. But give us some things that all tie into each other that are in the base game that will, maybe you can unlock the end game content until you figured out which adventures you need to do or which things you need to do. Or you need to loot. You need to find a lost sector that changes every week and find a key. That key then will open up some other part. Because if you saw Unknown Player a few weeks ago found, if you go into the PS4 exclusive Taken Strike, and you deviate from the strike, there is an enormous area, ginormous.
On Earth,
that's
right?
It's on EDC.
Oh,
yeah, that literally nothing is there except for buildings but there's no enemies, nothing there. Wow. But it's literally the size of it's huge. That's got to be something down the road, I think, because it's blocked off in normal patrol by those walls that the Fallen have up. But if you go to the EDZ, the Taken Strike, you can go actually in there and explore, and it's endless.
That's actually part of an adventure, or if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is. I did all the adventures week 1. I grabbed my Titan. I busted through the storyline in 2 days, and then everything else was done on Titan within the week. Yeah. And it's one of those adventures, and it's actually right there in Trostland on that wall. You grab it, and you go through there. You actually have to grab some energy cores, and you'll put them in there. Shield goes down, and you continue. And there's a huge area where you're trying to reclaim supplies for the city and for the farm, technically. A lot of Earl Grey talk during that with Devrim. But that whole area is really fun, in all honesty. Yeah. I feel that the adventures themselves, when they were first thrown in, and when I was busting them out, they were good for completing your additional subclasses, because you still need the upgrade points. Because if let's say you max out your Blade Dancer or your Pole Dancer, and you go over to Gunslinger or Night Stalker, you still have to buy those 8 nodes of each one.
Yeah.
And most, if not all, those adventures give you an upgrade point. So I grabbed my guy, I ran through them all. I had all 3 subclasses done by week 1. And then I started up my other ones, and I'm like, I really don't want to do these adventures again, because it felt so... It didn't have that replay value. Yes, I'm on a different character. I know the story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like it went really flat when I was grabbing it from another character.
Well, let me ask you guys this question, okay? Because the ideas that you've brought up are excellent. I love Mesa. I love the idea of, you got to find this random adventure that drops the key or something like that, and then it gives you something else to go do, and then at the end of the rainbow, there's your pot of gold. Okay. What if that doesn't happen? What if it is nothing more than just what we had in D1? Would you be disappointed, or would you be like, okay, well, at least this is a base. Hopefully they build off of this.
I would see it as a step forward, because you know what, people will give them feedback saying this is not enough. There's not enough value for me to replay this. If we think about the hardcores, where's our Outbreak Prime quests? Where are our Touch of Malice type quests, where they take forever to do and they're annoying, but you are granted a weapon that just blows you away? Outbreak Prime's probably one of my favorite quests ever, and one of my favorite guns in Destiny. I should have brought that up before when you asked me which guns to take back. Outbreak Prime, man, I love that thing. But yeah, I mean, like, where were our... Because look, let's not beat around the bush. Destiny 2, the base game is for casuals, right? It's very easy. I always bring this up. My girlfriend's son, he's 11 years old. We bought him Destiny 1. He tapped out so fast because he's like, what's this? Intellect, discipline, strength, and there's a zillion nodes I got to upgrade, and I got to do bounties, and should I do strikes, or should I do... So confusing to him. Popped in Destiny 2. Kid can't put the game down, loves it. He just loves wandering around, shooting aliens, and getting everything. He's the type of casual player, a kid that's going to keep coming back to the game, coming back to the universe. But it's us who are the hardcores, who we eat through content so fast that we need it replaced. So, Christopher Barrett, was he part of Wrath of the Machine? Or was that the Crota team that did Wrath of the Machine? No. All right, so House of Wolves and Rise of Iron. Yeah, so I think knowing Chris and his track record with those 2 expansions, I think we'll be in for some good replayability on these things, And if they're not, they'll learn from it, They've learned over time. I feel like that's where I get called the Bungie shill. But yeah, Destiny 1, good base game, got great over time. Destiny 2, amazing base game. I think it'll get better over time, I think. And everyone on Twitter and my fucking comment section can yell at me. Should have been done. They had 3 years. Listen, you're not a fucking developer, right? They had a change of leadership at Bungie. CEOs changed halfway through. I've been in big companies like that. Game directors changed. I've been through these big companies where when change in leadership changes, directions for products get changed. And we don't know what happened. We don't know when they started developing it. And hindsight is 2020. You could say it should have been in there, but you know what? It's not. Complaining about it is not going to help. Let's look to the future and see how we could take this great base game, make it better for the casuals, but then also for us hardcore players who want to keep playing it over and over. And because the PC folks, I don't know what the caliber are of PC folks and how they react to these types of games. Are they going to be bored really quickly, you think?
The PC players, and you mean specifically? I think
are they hardcores or are they casuals?
That I have no idea. That's a question I can't answer. What I can answer though is that over the course of the week, I've been keeping a close eye on Twitch and seeing who's streaming Destiny. And the first couple days, it was your big time streamers. They're gone.
Really?
They're already gone. They're done with the game.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think that's because the game sucks. Because the game doesn't suck. What I think it is the fact that the PvP right now needs some TLC.
Yeah.
And once that happens, I think once that happens, you will begin to see a migration of PC players back. I don't know if you're going to get the big time ones like, Summit 1G or whatever. I think that's his name, Summit, or, any of the other big timers. That's a toughie. But if let's say they had the ranked playlist, the PvP was much more how do I want to say, what's the word I want to say here? Much more well thought out with options available for anybody.
Yeah.
Because right now there are no options. You either go in quick play
or competitive.
And competitive is horrible because as soon as one team gets the little inclination that they're going to lose, everybody backs out.
Yeah, oh my god.
But they're going to get penalized. That's one of the new changes.
Yeah, but it all depends on how hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it means, oh, J-Ram, you backed out, you can't play for 5 minutes, then I go downstairs and make something to eat.
Yeah.
If they make the penalties harsh enough where it's like, and who came up with this? I think it was Holtzman that was talking about it on a DCP. You lose your ability to use a grenade for a day.
Oh, God.
You know? Yeah. A, you're going to have a lot of blowback, but then B, it's kind of like, well, then don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no power weapons for the day.
Yeah, something. I mean, they can lock loadouts. The question is, can they lock individual things on individual accounts?
Oh my gosh.
So that would be interesting. Right now, I would love to see PvP change, and I don't play PvP, but for the for the sake of the game, it has to change to get those big time streamers back, because the casual gamers are the ones that are watching the streamers play.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Sometimes people watch these other characters because they live through that
vicariously.
Yeah. I think a great example of that is Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that watch him, and they watch him because maybe in a weird way they wish they had that kind of cocky attitude that he has.
Yeah.
And it's funny to watch him do that stuff. I mean, some of the I will put him on every once in a while, and the guy is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big time funny. I love it when he snipes somebody, and then all of a sudden he goes on a 5-minute tirade about how he's the best online competitive sniper that's ever lived.
God.
And this is why. And it's funny as hell because he's not being serious. Or maybe he is. I don't know. The guy's funny. It would be nice to see those big time streamers get back on this game to show the world just how amazing this game truly is.
Yeah.
But there has to be changes. And maybe that's why there's just so much salt sometimes, is the fact that we know what this game can be, and just want it to be that. I think Kotaku just put an article out today, and it said Destiny 2 is one end game away from being excellent. And they're right. They're right. They got to fix something. The TWAB obviously showed that they're listening. I can't talk to somebody that will sit there and go, oh, Bungie's finally listening. Ass clowns. They've been listening forever. They have data on everything we do. It's an online game. They collect everything. They're always listening. They're probably worse than Big Brother when it comes to listening. So don't tell me that they're just now listening. What I want to see is, okay, I know you're listening. Let's see the action now. They're outlining it. I hope the action comes soon. Some of those things are going to be really hard to do in a short amount of time. Like you said, Mesa, if they can do something along the lines of the adventure lines, and making it like a little quest to get something at the end, that would be badass. The question becomes, and you're right, I'm not a developer. I don't know how long that takes.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but I do know this: if it takes a year, it's going to piss people off.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I don't have to be a developer to answer that question.
Yeah.
And like what you were mentioning before, the whole thing about having a quest line for those exotics. Yeah, we got one per planet. That's all well and good. I mean, might have multi-tool on Earth or whatever. But then you have the end game content for that one special exotic, the Legend of Acreus, and
I don't even use it, man. I got the ornament yesterday. I don't know.
Right. I just feel that kind of, the build up for that. It's like, hey, this is a gun that you get from the raid. It is an exotic. It's a quest line. Great. Awesome. Wait, what? Touch of Malice was better than this to start out. I mean, it fell really flat, the Legend of Acreus, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, like, you think about the weapons from Destiny 1. I mean, the Adept versions, Fatebringer, Vision of Confluence, Fang of Ryut, so many weapons brought back. And, I feel like one thing I would like to see is tuning of perks. Like Dragonfly is, I guess, the new version of Outlaw. I'm sorry, of a Firefly.
Firefly, yeah. I
think it's terrible. The blast radius is so small. Even when you have Graviton Lance, which is supposed to cause an explosion of that void damage, it barely affects anything unless something's right there. Whereas Firefly, you knew if two Thrall was standing next to that other thing that you killed, they were more than likely going to die from it. At the end of Destiny 1's life cycle, you could tell they were grasping at straws for perks. With like Last Resort, Guerrilla Fighter. You know what I mean? And I'd be hard pressed if I was a developer. How would I come up with perks? I mean, how do you come up with perks that beat Outlaw, Firefly? Rampage, that's a good one. I love Rampage. If I could get Rampage on everything. But they need to give us carrots, and if they're not moving static rolls, the carrots, sadly, might just be either a new loot pool of weapons or a carrot of modifications. And I gotta be frank, it'll be fun modding and really crafting and creating, because I'm a Division fan. So to me, it's a no biggie. I had spent 3 hours crafting that one set of gloves that's going to give me 15% critical hit chance or whatever, But if we had to chase something at the end to make our things more interesting, more fun to use, then I'm all for it. How are they going to implement this? We'll just have to wait and see how they're going to do it, you know?
So how about mods that give you that rampage on top of what the gun already is?
Right, yeah, but that's what I was thinking. It was like, to balance it for PvP, right? The way the mod system is, you go into PvP, only those mods are active, right? But then for PvE activities, that's where you can go in and craft a mod that you could throw. So let's say you've, let's take Better Devils, right? So it's got explosive rounds, so forth. What if I wanted Rampage on that, right? Okay, but then Rampage might make that a little annoying in PvP. So you have it set up so that for balance for PvP, when you go to play PvP, those extra mods, because let's say the way it is now, you've got the little box, and let's say per certain weapons you could tack 3 mods on that you craft and you create, right? If you dismantle those mods, you lose them. But when you go into PvP, only the first mod is going to be active, right? So for kinetic weapons, so this way, you go into PvP, you've got the base gun. Better Devils is no different than any other Better Devils in PvP, balanced right there. But then for PvE activities, those other mods that you might have thrown on, Rampage or Kill Clip or something, those are active. And now you say, wow, you know what? I got a cool Better Devils that has Rampage and Outlaw on it. So not only do I get a kill, I get a really fast reload, and I could stack my damage for that hand cannon or something. So, and that's a system that's in the game that could be balanced to appease PvP, because it's the biggest complaint with from Destiny 1 always was balance of PvP. You were at a disadvantage if you didn't have, and I mean, in that last part, like Ias Lunas would drive me bonkers, man.
Right.
You know? And I had a Lord High Fixer with Outlaw, Rangefinder, Luck in the Chamber, and Rifle Barrel. Thing was God, with Sure Shot and True Sight, God roll. But it didn't have the same stability, snappiness that Ias Luna would have if it had, you know. So you were at a disadvantage right there. And, you know, I think Activision owns MLG, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did this purposely so that weapons across the board all going to be the same. If they ever went into a competitive arena or went MLG or something like that, all the PvP players on the same playing field, okay? But the mod system should be in place there so that simply they're on when you're out of PvP or you're in regular Crucible or something, or but then when you go into competitive, you only get the base gun. So everyone's on an even playing field, you know? But let's see how they add it all, you know?
Question: would you guys like to see things like Archon's Forge and Court of Oryx in the world of D2?
I loved Archon's Forge.
Yeah, if it's done right, absolutely.
Yeah,
but it has to be done right. That's with anything.
Yeah. So would that mean, like, instead of finding it on patrol, you rather load into it, so people will already be there
I
with you?
Archon's Forge because you never knew who was going to be in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I used that glitch where if you walk slowly,
yeah.
thing, it automatically spawns you into an interaction. But it was fun because then you'd be in there and, well, who's got the, I forgot. What were the 3 levels of the,
oh my God, I forgot.
the tiers of difficulty? There was the purple one, the blue one, and then the green one. Perfected.
Right.
Perfected was the hard, right?
Who's got the perfecteds, right?
Yeah, you know, so you're all talking about, but then you would see on screen so-and-so got perfected or perfected. So now you know, all right, you know what, let me stay here because this guy's got it perfected. Let me switch my class, you know, like switch to Galahorn stuff. But if they did it right and it made it more interesting, where make it a little more MMO, make it like, okay, when you're out and about patrolling the European Dead Zone, you might come across a whatever key to go do this activity or something, you know, and then you show up there, you pop your key in, or you call up your friends, you know, or call up your friends. You summon your friends and say, hey, listen, I got a perfected key or something like that. Let's head over to Trossland and go into, you know, somewhere where we can activate this activity and hopefully get some good loot out of it, you know. There's a lot of things they could do, man. I always said Mars in Destiny 1 was such a waste of real estate because beautiful, so many places to go, so many underground. You could go underground the Dust Palace. You can go into what was that one place where, if the real hardcores remember, doing the laps trying to farm for helium filaments and Spirit Bloom and Relic Iron, right? What was it? The Scablands, right?
Yeah.
You know, so much real estate, but no reason to go there. You know, there's a VIP patrol or there's a kill patrol, and you get some rep and this and that. But with the new destinations, it seems like they're trying to spread out the public events, spread out the lost sectors, so they give you reason to go visit those places. So we'll just have to see what they do with them, you know.
And
I agree with you on the fact that, you know, Mars was definitely a loss of real estate. One thing that still irritates me to this day on Mars is the area called the Drift.
Which, you know, I don't even know what that is.
You want to know what happens there?
Where was the Drift?
Nothing. Nothing. There was a ghost up in a tree.
Oh my god.
That is all it had.
Where on Mars was
You would go. Okay, so you spawn in on Mars, go to the right first section, take your first left down between the rocks, across from the fire base there. That's the Drift. It is a long sand dune all the way down. That is it. It is one curve.
Yeah.
It was a full
Did not know
location, and the only thing there was a ghost.
Wow.
I know this because I from the same one, but it was I was expecting something more to happen. On occasion, a Vex or 2 Goblin would appear, but they weren't even special.
Yeah.
They were just red dwarfs. And it's like, why does this place exist?
Let me ask you the guys this question, right? Whenever I go into the Pyramidion strike, right, that to me looks like, wow, if the Vault of Glass looked like this with these graphics upgraded, what would you think if they brought back sometime down the road old raids from Destiny 1?
I would be 100% on board.
Okay.
See, I feel like I knew Jeremy would say that.
Oh yeah, I posted a what are those things? Freaking survey or whatever you want to call it on Twitter earlier today. If you know, do you wish Destiny 1 would have been on PC also? Considering that this is what we're playing right now, and everyone's like, no, it should have been on console only. I'm like, either you really hate Destiny that much, or you've never seen it before.
Yeah.
And Mesa, dude, that would be unbelievable.
Because we would have this conundrum of half the community fucking reskins. And then the rest of them, oh my god, Vault of Glass is coming back. I can't wait. And we get to see it. And on PC, that Pyramidion strike, man, when I look at the detail of the Vex looking out into space, the way just the, you know, like it looks so Vault of Glass like, but on steroids, you know.
Yeah.
Where we think like for Destiny 1, like, you know, that the game was in development back in 2013, 2012, like a long time ago, and looking at his upgraded graphics, whether it's for PC or for me on my PS4 Pro, man, a Vault of Glass in 4K, but with, you know, maybe some different mechanics or something, would be amazing. But I was just throwing it out there because, you know, like my friends and I were talking about it. Like, can you imagine if they brought back, you know, like just for like a like, what if they brought it back for a live event or something like that? You know,
Mesa,
what I mean?
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better. You ready for this?
Yep.
I would pay $20 for that. That's how badass I think it would be.
Yeah, man.
If they said, "Hey, this is optional DLC, you don't have to buy it," $20 for you know all the raids from D1 and D2, I would say, "Where, you know, honey, go get
like sign me up.
I'm in."
Yep.
You know, sorry for the hugs and kisses tonight. You're not getting any.
I would love to see them do a Age of Triumph in D2.
Yeah, that would be badass, man.
Yeah.
And bring back all the old raids. Oh.
The record books, man. Where are the record books, dude?
I think the record books was such a great concept. I would love to see them return.
Yeah, because I mean, you were able to track things. You know, I mean, like I didn't really get anything good other than some shaders or some packages, but it kept me logging in and looking at, oh shit, you know, my Titan, I still need 500 kills on Vex or something like that, or I need to complete XYZ without dying or something like that. I really hope record books come back at some point because I think it's an integral thing. Because even, you know, if you could keep track of things in the game, it gives you, okay, I need to go do this. I mean, like for me right now, it's the milestones, right? Like I log in. When I go to a destination, I look at the milestones and I go complete them. Am I completing them for any particular reason? No. I mean, I think all those tokens I'm saving, and I have hundreds of them, will come into play with the currency. Because when Christopher Barrett talks about new ways to use your currency, I think me hoarding them is a great idea.
Yeah.
But they're neat. Like I really miss the record book, man. I really do miss the record books.
It gave us something more to go and chase after. Yeah.
It gives direction. Yeah.
That's all people are asking for.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. So the final question for the night is, if you guys were able to go anywhere in the Destiny universe, any planet, any solar system, like if Bungie asked you where in the universe would you like to go, what would you guys say? It could be any planet in the solar system.
Sorry. Hold on. Mute my mic. My girlfriend's coming in the front.
You're fine. Plasmic, I will start off with you, man.
Oh, okay. First you said anywhere, and then you changed anywhere to planet. So
it could be a country on Earth. It could be a different planet in the solar system, a universe. I mean, anywhere in the universe.
Anywhere in the universe, huh?
Anywhere. It could
That's
be
a good question.
See, this is where we go into technicalities, because I would like to jump inside some Vex networks, some simulations. So that's not strictly in this universe.
Technically. So he's more talking. I feel like Jay's more asking, like, where would be somewhere, like either another planet or some sort of destination that we could go into. Not necessarily hack in like Tron and be like
no.
But more along the lines of, hey, let's go here and do our stuff there.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Has the Traveler touched every planet in our solar system?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Hi.
There she goes.
One thing that I would want, because in D1 we had the Reef, and in D1 that was about as far out as we ever went in our solar system. And if you're looking at it compared to D2, the Nessus is technically way out there. Yes, it is a centaur. Yes, and it has its own funky orbit around the sun because, bigger planets will pull it further and closer, whatever. It doesn't have a static orbit like Pluto, Neptune, etc. I want to go further out past just the Reef. I want to see what is more out there in our outer planets. Drop me on Pluto. Drop me on Neptune. Take me further out in our own solar system that I can be like, this is something attainable. Because right now, Nessus is the furthest place from Earth you can get in D2. And I like dropping in on Titan. I like dropping in on Io and being able to look up and see, hey, that's celestial body I know. If you drop in on Titan, you can look up and you see
the Dreadnought.
Yeah, you could see the Dreadnought.
I think
you can drop in on Io and you can look up, and if you wait long enough, you can see the Red Storm on Jupiter. You go to Nessus, hey, there's the Leviathan. That is awesome. And I want it to be take me somewhere further out than we've ever been. Keep it within our solar system. Keep it something I would probably know just from, an education through a public school system. Even if it's something even further, I would love it to be maybe even like give us some sort of fictitious solar system on a star that is part that we know as a constellation. Give me something on Orion's belt. Give me something, in Ursa Major. Give me something that's way out there, but it still has a point that I know for a fact does exist in the real world.
The reason why I brought up this question, I don't know if you guys saw on Reddit, there was, I guess we can say like a fake leak about the second DLC. And, yeah, and I saw it said about the Manhattan nuclear zone, and then I was just thinking, how cool would it be to return back to New York? Well, not return back, but go to New York, go to Manhattan, and see that in this universe. So that's where I would go. I would either go to Manhattan or Old Chicago, stay on Earth, and really see what happened after the collapse, because all we've seen really was old Russia, EDZ, wherever the tower's located. So I would like to go explore North America or South America. So let me go ahead and wander around the planet Earth a little more freely. Give me another region. That'd be fun. But
I still want to go somewhere further out that I have a point of reference. Like I said, Orion's Belt. Give me Ursa Major. Give me the Big Dipper. I don't care. Give me somewhere that I can look up at night and be like, there. That's where I'm going.
I've been there, yeah. I'm gonna tag on with Jay, man. You know, because obviously playing The Division, I love how they recreated New York City. But then that also just made me think to myself, all right, so what if we got another area on Earth? So we've been on the Russian Cosmodrome, right? Everything's kind of snowy, kind of wintry. We've never seen a landscape that's tropical, right? You know, like in Rogue One, all of a sudden it was our first Star Wars destination that was tropical. Like, what if it was like the Florida Peninsula, southern part, right, where it was like old Miami, like devastated, but you have palm trees and stuff all over or destroyed palm trees or things like that. But back to the, you know, like the New York City thing, that would add a completely different dimension where you're looking not at like landscape that you got to go through a sparrow. Everything is buildings that are all, and you can find, you know, like go up 5 stories to get to a building to find a loot chest or something, or go down to the subway systems. And hey, all of a sudden the raid is underneath Manhattan or something like that, you know, and you got to get to underneath XYZ, you know, where the World Trade Center was, or where the, you know, Empire State Building was, old Central Park, right? Central Park could be a, you know, patrol zone or a horde mode zone or something like that. But I would say something on Earth, but back to also the, you know, the audio files are leading to, we're going to go back to the Dreadnought. And I think that is true, because I'm imagining one of the DLCs, Dreadnought's going to come back. It's going to look completely different. It's going to be PC 4K. And Eris Morn is going to be...
my nipples just got real hard when you said that.
Quote of the night.
And Eris Morn is going to be an NPC on that, you know, like destination. Because for some reason, because the Dreadnought's still there. We, you know, could see it, you know, like from the sky and everything. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it would be either like... Because they also used to talk about old Chicago, right?
Yeah, like
isn't that like Leak or like an early story concept? We've never been to Europa, and if you look,
Christopher Barrett,
out on
Christopher Barrett,
go for it. He changed his Twitter profile. The banner, if I could find it, is the concept art for Europa. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
Yeah, go look at it right now. It's the picture from Europa. But we know that the Curse of Osiris from the Xbox leak is going to be Mercury, and the Infinite Forest, I think they're calling it. It's going to be patrollable space. So,
but
speaking of concept art,
launched,
speaking of concept art, since we're talking about that, who remembers the Moth People?
Oh yeah, it's right.
I want to go wherever the Moth People are. Because they've got some pretty wild ecosystems going on there. If they are giant moth people, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that and see what's going on over there.
Before Destiny 2 launched, I think it was in a Kotaku article when Jason Schreier said that we would return back to the Dreadnought. I don't know if you guys remember, but it also said that like I think it was half the game took place on Saturn or Saturn rings and all that, and the Dreadnought would play a huge part. Clearly that changed, but I would love to go back to the Dreadnought and see maybe Savathun is there, maybe Eris Morn is there. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Because the Taken, they're alive and well. You know what I mean? Like they're causing chaos on Io. So
if you go to Io and you're digging around and you're being an explorer, I'm going to say, and you find those little caves and you find those little orbs and you go and scan them with your ghost, it's going to be telling you, hey, this thing is chanting Sa-Va-Thun.
Yeah.
Okay. And doing those adventures like you had mentioned earlier, those are going to tell you more, hey, there's something else going on with the Taken, not just, hey, the Taken King is gone. Guess what? Other people might have that same powers, Savathun probably. And, you know, if we do go back to the Dreadnought, like everybody would love us to go to, and hey, there's Eris having a great old time sipping on a martini. I don't know. But maybe there's some sort of reclaiming the Dreadnought, not necessarily for ourselves, but for keeping it out of Savathun's hands.
Yeah.
Because how the whole Hive system works, they work off combat. They work off, you know, grinding each other, sharpening each other like swords, if you will. If Savathun gets her hands on everything Tad, what potential does to bring in and say, oh, guess what? Reset Earth again. You know?
J-Ram, where would you like to go?
Oh, man. No, that's easy for me. I would definitely go to Venus. What really got me, like, just to fall in love with this game is the one mission where you run into that big laboratory and all of a sudden the lights kick on and it's like, hello, Dr. Chen.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
What?
Yep.
You know,
Dr.
to
Shin.
me, that seems like that is where the Golden Age and all that cool ass shit that when the Traveler came to Earth, that's where the birthplace of all of it was.
Yeah.
So, in order to fully understand what is going on in this universe that the Guardians are living in, I think it all starts right there. So, I think that would definitely be one of the ones where I just say, get me in here. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Is Venus. I would love to explore Venus. That I think also that's another reason why I love Nessus. Nessus reminds me of Venus.
It does, man.
It does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, without a doubt, I mean, I would just let me boot up Venus so bad. It was, and it was out of D1. It was, I thought personally, the prettiest planet. And when you do a little bit of homework and you open up that thing, it's called a science book. You will notice that the volcanoes on Venus in Destiny, when they erupt blue. That's exactly what the lava would look like on Venus because of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So when it comes from a science perspective, they're nailing it.
Yeah.
Which is so badass. It makes everything so much more realistic. But, you know, it sucks that people just don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it's not Bungie's fault. I mean, the blue lava is not something I would expect the average person to know.
Right.
Yeah.
If you took a science course that dealt with planets, astronomy, then I would expect you to know something like that.
Correct me if
Otherwise-
I'm wrong, Sean, but Craig actually helped, right? Craig from Guardian Radio. He helped
I think
Bungie
so, yeah.
with that. Yeah. That's where I actually learned it from Guardian Radio about that one when Craig was on.
Yeah. Another destination I feel like was really underutilized in Destiny 1 was the moon. And the moon was always my favorite destination, and Crota's End was one of my favorite raids, even though people consider it a glorified strike. Because for me, it was the music, it was diving. I'll still never forget doing the blind raid, dropping down into the pit, and that music, just starts chiming in.
That
You sit
EDM
down.
rave music.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, then you land and it's pitch black, and you hear screaming, and it was so eerie. And then just the like aesthetics of it, and the music from the sword bearer. The moon's always been my favorite destination, but there was anything going on the moon to ever go there, unless. Like, if I got the fallen bounty to kill, I'd always go to the moon just because I want to and then look up, and you could see things that you could relate to. You see the International Space Station all destroyed. you know?
Yeah.
You could see Mars, too, from there. I could never find Venus, but if you use your sniper, you could actually see Mars, you know?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, like, a revamped moon, would be cool. Sometimes you would see Earth would have a whole, like, the way the sun would reflect it. Like, someone thought it was like an Easter egg because it looked like it was a black swirl all over the moon, like something was coming. But I think it was really just the Earth's rotation to the sun or something like that. But there's a lot of places they could go.
Yeah.
But I just hope if they go back to old places that we like, people are going to complain regardless. Reskin, they can't come up with anything. But if we were to go back to Venus, love Venus. If we go back to the moon or Dreadnought, more than likely it's going to look completely different. It's not going to have the same like the Dreadnought, in my opinion. If they redo it, it's not going to be the same Dreadnought. I mean, rephrase that. It won't be the same layout. It'll look completely different. Maybe we'll have a throwback and see where the Cabal ship crashed in, but now it's years past, so that thing has mold all over it and space debris and stuff. But the focus is on exploring all these other parts of the Dreadnought. Because when the Dreadnought hit, that was the coolest thing, man.
Yeah.
That's why, like I say, Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy really revolutionized Destiny 1 because that's where questification came in. That's where this new destination that was eerie, that was creepy, that had these rune something
Antiquated runes.
Antiquated runes.
Yeah.
But what was the
Antiquated
ones
runes,
you put in?
Argonaut runes.
Yeah, those. What was the one that you put in, and then it would summon a hive stalking party, and then you'd kill a big ogre?
Wormsinger rune?
Wormsinger rooms, that's what it was, yeah. And then you'd get that. I would love to see the Dreadnought come back and just have even more weird caves. And remember that one chest that you had to go and grab something, and then you start losing health as soon as you go in there if you don't have this thing. But of course, we'd glitch in there. You pop your blade dance. Yeah, just use your sword or your super blade dance through it, and like grab the chest. But I don't know. There's a million different directions. I think overall, it's a good base game, and I think there's so much they can do with it. And I'm not worried about it.
No matter what you say, though, Mesa, there's always going to be one subset of the community that says this game is great, and then you're going to have another subset that's going to say, kiss my ass, this game sucks.
I know.
It's always going to happen. I was talking. I was texting Jay.
This game, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I was texting Jay, during the week, and I told him, we were bringing up just the fact, that some people are coming, on Twitter, they're kind of yelling at him because he's the community manager. And I said, listen, dude, as soon as you assume a role of power, 50% of the people hate your guts.
Yeah.
It's just a fact of life. And that's something you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
If you don't want to deal with it, don't be the leader then. And that's fine. Somebody else will do it.
Yeah.
But you're always going to have that subset that says it sucks. The question becomes, if they say it sucks, I think the people that are really positive about the game should say, okay, why? Who is that?
My girlfriend got a Conor McGregor because we're huge UFC fans. She got a Funko Pop. I got the Activision sent me an Ikora Ray one, so then she just bought. You can call my camera, honey. And she bought the Conor McGregor one, and she put the UFC belt on him.
Does he have the tattoo on his chest?
Oh, yeah. They want to know here. Do they have the does he have the tattoo on his chest?
Yeah. Can I show you?
Yeah. He wants to show you. Yeah, he's got the back tattoo.
There's...
Oh, no, you showed up here, honey.
Oh.
All right, so he's got the back tattoo,
I can see it.
and then the top. Whatever.
There it is. There it is.
He doesn't have the bottom one though. That's funny, honey. Oh my goodness.
You'll do nothing.
She goes, "You'll do fucking nothing."
Nice.
He needs to fight Nate Diaz again. Is what he got to do. Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. I think when somebody says the game sucks, I think instead of everybody on Twitter jumping on him saying you're a salt asshole miner, the question should be, why do you think it sucks? Let me understand why you feel this way.
Or what's your solution? What's your proposed solution? That's what I ask a lot.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm with you on that. But even then, it's kind of like you could say maybe they'll sit there and go, okay, well the mod system could be better. Okay, that's great. But then there's the other side of the argument where it's I don't work for Bungie. That's not my decision to make.
Yeah.
And that is a tough way to respond to somebody. It's kind of like when I'm teaching in class, I tell my students all the time, I can 1,000 problems in calculus. The one thing I can't do is make you understand it.
Yeah.
That is where you need to take that extra step. So to kind of bridge the two together, I can give Bungie some suggestions. Number one, it's their job to take not to take what I say, but it's their job to figure out what's wrong and then correct it.
Yeah.
I'm just one small little voice. But what ends up happening is, and I see it all the time on Twitter, and it's even with me. You say one thing, even with you, Mesa, you say you don't even look at your comments anymore.
Yeah.
It's okay if you think it sucks. Why do you think it sucks? Because maybe maybe it's that one sentence that I said that I will say that kind of changes your mind on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think as a community, we need to get better at listening to both sides of the argument, not just, oh, J-Ram doesn't like the game, then he's an asshole and he's I mean, my Twitter says D2 Salt Mines. That's where I live. Because anything I say critical about the game, people jump on me. Oh, you don't understand. And I'm like, dude, no, I do understand. What you're failing to understand is why am I feeling this way? And then when I kind of explain it, they block me or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I just don't get into arguments with people anymore. And what's annoying is that they think I have Bungie's ear. They think because I've been to these 8 capture events that I can call. I mean, yes, I have Deej's phone number. I text him sometimes just to shoot the shit or whatever. But I'm not about to call him up and be like, Deej, you know what? We really need to take that's not my position there. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? And I don't even want to imagine what someone like him or Cosmo or Luke Smith or Mark Knows where they have to see on Twitter all day long with people, yelling at them and stuff.
Oh, dude, it's bad. It's bad.
I saw that one tweet where Luke Smith tweeted out one fucking tweet about
about Star Wars. Yeah,
about Star Wars. And the first, your kid is trash.
Give
me my money back.
It was so bad.
You know what? It reminds me of my old companies where I used to work for medical devices. When a customer would give us critical feedback, but would sit down and say, listen, you know what, this is not working. This needs to be changed. You know, let's work on solutions. We were all ears. But the ones that would say, your product sucks, Philips or Zoll is better than da-da-da-da-da, usually went in one ear and right out the other, because you're not approaching us as a company on how to better ourselves. You're yelling at us, and when you yell at us, your feedback goes in one ear and out the other. But if you provide something constructive, it'd be like, this I think would make the game better. We were all ears, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't want to be in their shoes right now, just in terms of well, I mean, I'd love to work for Bungie one day, but I wouldn't want to be in their shoes right now, just in terms of dealing with how much people are screaming at them. I mean, like with Reddit, they've gotten better since the PC launch. I noticed I can look at the front page and whoa, it's not literally all salt. There's, hey, I'm a PC guardian, you know, or hey, you know, PC folks, don't dismantle Nameless Midnight if you get it, you know, a lot more. So I'm like, all right, you know what, things are turning a little bit here. People are trying to help the new folks. You know, I said this once live on stream. I was like, you know what, all year long, not everybody, a lot of this community, they all jerk each other off, right? Everything's so amazing and the love from this community. And then as soon as things aren't going the way they like it, they just bile comes out of their mouth all day long. You know what I mean? And to me, it showed a lot of the true colors, not of the whole community, but a good portion of it where they instantly turned on everybody else because they're unhappy. You know what I mean? And I think things will go back to normal and people will love the game and, you know, be happy and stuff. And, you know, like what I tell people is, listen, if you're not enjoying it, play other games. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it helps me enjoy Destiny. You know, like I remember when I was grinding through Horizon Zero Dawn, man, I was so glued to that game. But then when I came back to Destiny, it just it felt like home. It felt like home. You know, like I'm looking forward to the new Call of Duty World War II. Am I going to stream it or upload videos? Probably not. It's the mindless Twitch shooter that's going to enrage me because you die every 2 seconds. You know what I mean? But it's a fun thing to do outside of playing Destiny. Star Wars Battlefront, really looking forward to that. Love the first one. But you know what? Any game that's all multiplayer, and even though there is a story, you know, it gets exhausting. And when I log into Destiny, hear the music and go to the tower, and I'm familiar with it, it always feels like home. So I feel like playing other games is healthy because it makes you appreciate it, you know, the base game that you really enjoy the most.
Yeah, it's just that, and I feel like these past 2 weeks have been rough at Bungie. And I think yesterday really relieved some of the stress. Because with the TWAB, it was just we had a good TWAB. All right, like I feel like the community really started to become more positive. Yeah, there was some salty tweets here and there, but still, I feel like yesterday's TWAB really helped relieve some of that stress. But again, the past 2 weeks have been insane on the internet.
Yeah, because meeting all those guys, and like I raided with Eric Osborne, and one of the guys who designed the Leviathan raid and the guy that designed the European Dead Zone. They're just normal dudes. They're just normal, nice guys who they're living the dream. They get to go create a video game. You know what I mean? And yelling at them is not going to help the situation. No. You know what I mean? You know, because I remember, you know, like when we were playing and stuff, I was like, man, I need that curtain call. And the lead designer was like, why? You know, he's like, tell me, why would you rather use that than Sins? Like he was probing me for information as to, you know, because I could tell that he was listening for feedback as to, well, what would make you rather use the curtain call rather than Sins of the Past, you know? Then it led into a nice conversation like, well, Sins of the Past, love the blast radius, cleans out ads and everything. But the reload is so slow on it, and a lot of times if I'm trying to lay rockets over and over and don't have a rally barricade for Callus, the curtain call, that thing reloads really fast, and the blast radius is clustered a little closer together, you know? So it led to a productive conversation rather than screaming, this weapon sucks, fix this, and that, you know? And it's just crazy times we're living in, folks.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully it will get better soon. We have 3 streams coming up in November. I'm really interested to see what they have to show us. And hopefully there will be a carrot soon, guys. It's going to get better, guys. It is. Trust me. It is. Well, all right, guys. Thank you for listening to the 51st episode of the DTR podcast. Thank you so much, Sean, for joining us this week.
Oh, guys, thank you for having me on, guys. It was an honor. Sorry I bailed the last time, but you guys know how sick I've been in the last couple of weeks.
No. Well, don't. We'll hold it against you. Don't worry. You wait till you see your YouTube comments.
Oh God.
You're gonna see the number 8 3 equal signs and a capital D everywhere.
Oh my God. It was an honor coming on, guys. I use your website nonstop for checking things and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's you know, I encourage everyone to use Destiny Track. The things I plug the most in my videos for external things is DestinyTracker.com to track anything that you need. Looking for web stats, looking for your personal stats, and also Destiny Item Manager. I could not live without that Google Chrome app for transferring stuff around. So keep doing what you're doing, guys. You guys have an amazing website and a great podcast.
Thank you, sir.
So where can we find you on social media?
Okay, it's real simple. It's Mesa Sean on Twitter, Mesa Sean on YouTube, and I'm a co-host on Guardian Radio Monday nights, twitch.com/Guardian Radio, and our Twitter is Guardians of Deep on Monday nights.
Sweet. Rathos. Is Rathos there?
You can find me at Rathos everywhere.
J-Ram.
You can find me at J_Rambo9119 everywhere.
Plasmic.
You can find me at Twitter at Plasmic_Leaf.
Sweet. Alright, guys. You guys can find me on Twitter at J_DTR and Destiny Tracker on Twitter at Destiny Track and on YouTube at Destiny Tracker. Alright, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the 51st episode of the DTR podcast. My name is Jay, and we will see you guys all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.